Grab your gardening gloves and let's dive into the diverse, undead world of Plants vs. Zombies. You thought your backyard was safe, huh? Well, think again. This is a follow-up to that Facts About Plants video I did ages ago, because why not? Zombies are the real stars here. So buckle up, folks, because we're about to get zombie nerdy. But before we start, how about hitting that subscribe button? It'll make Mr. Peace happy. No pressure, but it's the right thing to do. From your average everyday zombie to the highly specialized undead, there's a lot more to these shambling corpses than meets the eye. So buckle up, because this tour of Zombieland is about to get a little interesting. Regular walkers, the undead infantry. First off, let's give a big round of applause to the regular walkers. These guys are the bread and butter of every zombie apocalypse, the backbone, if you will, of every undead wave. You'll encounter them in every world. And yes, they'll all be shambling toward your house at the speed of a particularly sluggish snail. Some are just regular zombies, while others wear helmets, sport business suits, or even dress like they're attending a garden party. It doesn't matter how fancy they look. They're still slow, lazy, and completely bent on eating your brains. Classic. You'd think they're just there to fill up space, right? Wrong. They're the true MVPs of every wave, and without them, the real nightmares would never show up. So if you're ever feeling too cocky in the early levels, remember, these humble zombies are the foundation for everything that's about to come for you. Don't worry, we'll all be screaming in terror soon enough. Oh, and let's not forget about the wave marker, a zombie that's practically a walking red flag, literally. This one carries a red flag, and when you see it waving around, that means your nightmare is about to get so much worse. The sequel made sure this guy showed up immediately, just to remind you that nothing ever goes smoothly in Plants vs. Zombies. Ever. Egyptian zombies. The mummies are coming. Now let's talk about the Egyptian zombies. This is where things start to get interesting, and by interesting I mean you're going to want to punch your screen. Let's begin with the Sun Thief, who's not just an annoying scavenger, but a downright criminal. This guy loves snatching your sunlight, which, you know, is kind of the one resource you need to survive in this game. He can only take 5 suns at a time, but don't get cocky. 5 suns might as well be the last slice of pizza in your fridge, and when he takes them, you're screwed. Next, let's talk about the Desert Caravan, a zombie with the kind of health that could probably survive an apocalypse and a minor nuclear disaster. It's basically the zombie version of that one friend who insists on bringing way too much luggage on a trip. But don't worry, even though this guy's got the health of a gargantua, yes, really, you can break through his defenses with multi-hitting plants. Pro tip, use those plants, because if you don't, you'll be crying into your sunflowers before long. Then there's the torchbearer, who comes in like a wrecking ball, setting plants on fire like it's his personal hobby. And here's the kicker. Some defensive plants can actually put out his fire. Who knew? Defensive plants actually working for once. Madness, I know. The Pyramid Builder is another must-see attraction, creating tombstones wherever it goes. You can stop them by placing a plant where they aim. Problem solved. Just make sure it's a good plant. You can't just throw a pea shooter and call it a day. Do you want a tombstone or do you want to win? Choices, my friend. And lastly, there's the Royal Guard, who for some reason has a dramatic pause when it loses its sarcophagus. Like, what's going on in that zombie brain? Am I still royal if I'm holding this thing? I need to rethink my life choices. Take your time, buddy. It's not like we're trying to survive a zombie apocalypse or anything. Oh, and don't even get me started on the Egyptian giant, who carries around a massive sarcophagus and looks like he's constantly searching for something. Maybe he's looking for his dignity. Who knows? Freeze him at the right moment, though, and you might get a glimpse of something inside. Spoiler alert, it's probably a cursed relic or a trap. Either way, you're not winning any prizes. Mini menaces. Tiny, but terrifying. Next up, we have the tiny troublemakers. These pint-sized pests are surprisingly dangerous for their size, packing the same amount of health as some of their much bigger, scarier cousins. Don't let their stature fool you. They might be small, but their bite is lethal. They're like the ankle biters of the zombie world, and they will absolutely ruin your day if you're not paying attention. High seas hijinks, the pirate zombies. Ah, matey, let's sail into the pirate-themed waters, where zombies really start to embrace the chaos. First up, meet the rope swinger, who comes in hot and ready to swing into your defenses like a true pirate. Sometimes they miss their mark and go for an unplanned swim, which is honestly kind of hilarious to watch. But don't get too cocky. Timing your leaf blower just right can send them right back to Davy Jones' locker. And we all know how much we love the leaf blower, right? So satisfying. Then there's the flying menace, which takes the concept of fly under the radar to a whole new level. These guys soar right over your defenses, rendering many of your precious plants useless. But here's the kicker. When they eat certain plants, the results are just hilarious. Like, did you really think a zombie could get any more ridiculous? You haven't seen anything yet. And let's not forget the fish carrier, a zombie who has some wild reactions to electrical plants. It's like watching a zombie turn into a completely different creature right before your eyes. Not a good look, but it's definitely entertaining. Finally, the cannon crew, mechanical, menacing, and somehow still immune to certain plant attacks. Seriously, it's like these guys went to the zombie version of a military boot camp. They also have a bad habit of causing game-breaking glitches and even turning into invisible zombie overlords. Good times, good times. So there you have it, folks. The deadliest and most entertaining zombies you'll meet on your plant-filled journey. You might laugh, you might cry, but one thing's for sure, your lawn's never going to be the same. Good luck, and don't forget to water those plants, and you'll need them.